There's some people in the world who say that writing stories or composing music or dancing sparkly dances is easy for them. Nothing interferes with their ability to create. While I celebrate their creative freedom, a little part of me wants to punch those motherfuckers in the teeth. I sing this song for you guys and for all the rest of us. You have a story to tell, a novel you keep in a drawer. You have a painting to paint, but you're lazy like an old French whore. You have a movie to make, shrinky dinks you could bake, but you best grab a steak, cause in sweep the vampires, in creep the vampires, knee deep in vampires, filling you with doubt, insecurity, bout what your art should be in sweep the vampires, die vampire. You sketched that turtle you saw in an ad on late night cable TV. But your fourth grade teacher said you can't draw. Oh, those vampires won't let you be. Fuck you, Miss Johnson. Word. And when they come run like hell, see those bats in your belfry, just call on Van Helsing. In swoosh, in whoosh, baba ganoosh. Filling you with thoughts of self-consciousness, feelings of worthlessness, they'll make you second-guess, die vampire. There are so many vampires, inside, outside, and nationwide. It helps to recognize them with a vampire hunting guide. Now listen closely. A vampire is any person, thought, or feeling that stands between you and your creative self-expression, but they can assume many seductive forms. So here's a few of them. I'll get to it. Just give me a second. First up are your pygmy vampires. They swarm around your head like gnats and say things like,
you sound weird. You went to state school? Your teeth need whitening. Ooh, Shakespeare, Sondheim, and Sedaris did it before you and better than you.
Or they might say that you cannot sing good enough to be in a musical. Or they might say, ooh, your song's derivative, it sounds a bit repetitive, you sound fucking stupid, they'll try and keep that song from you. You just tell them, die vampire, die. Brothers and sisters, next up is the air freshener vampire. Now she might look like your mama, or your old fat-ass fat Aunt Fanny. If she smells something unpleasant in what you are creating, she will urge you to it with some pine fresh smell-em-ups. Now the air freshener vampire doesn't want you worrying about blood, or bad language, or blowjobs. She wants you to clean it up and clean it out, which will leave her work toothless, gutless, and crotchless. But you'll be left with 2 tight paragraphs on kittens that your grandma would be so proud of. Oh, honey. So you look at that air freshener vampire, her fat ass, her fat old fucking face, and you say, Morte vampire, morte. That the last vampire is the mother of all vampires, and that is the vampire of despair. It'll wake you up at 4 a.m. to say things like, who do you think you're kidding? You look like a fool. No matter how hard you try, you will never be good enough. Why is it if some guy walked up to me on the subway platform and said these things to me, I would think he's just a mentally ill asshole? But if the vampire inside my head says it, it's the voice of reason. You have a story to tell, pull your novel out of that sock drawer. You have a painting to paint, you must paint it and then paint some more. Oh baby, you must escape, then grab it by the nape of its neck, by the trachea. Fucking break it, go on, drop a stake in, now there's no mistaking, cause you're making bacon. Die, vampire, I said just die, vampire. I said now die, vampire, die. In-fly vampires, oh my, the vampires then die. The vampires filling you with life, creativity, oh, that your art should be out. Go the vampires, die vampire, die vampire, die vampire.